In China, President Xi Jinping has launched yet another purge. He has removed 9 top military officers, and this has become a familiar pattern in his regime. Xi Jinping has been in power for more than 12 years now, and in this period, he has sacked millions of people, including thousands from the military. In the latest round, a high-ranking general has been purged. His name is He Weidong. You may have heard of him. It's the same general who's been missing since March, and we'd reported about his disappearance on this show. And in China, that's often the first clue. When a top official disappears, it usually means one thing: they are on their way out. And now it's official. Beijing has confirmed his sacking. They confirmed it last week. As always, they did not say where General He was or what led to his dismissal. That silence is routine. But the removal is not. You see, General He was not just another name in uniform. He was one of Xi Jinping's closest allies. They rose through the ranks together. In fact, Xi Jinping personally appointed him to top positions. At the age of 68, General He sat on the Politburo. That's the second highest body of the Communist Party. He was also vice chair of the Central Military Commission, the CMC. The CMC commands China's military, and that post made him one of the country's most powerful commanders. In the chain of command, General He came right after President Xi, who heads the Central Military Commission. That's how powerful he was, and now he has been booted out. The question is why? Why was he sacked? Well, China says, and I'm quoting, General He committed serious violations of party discipline. They also accuse him of quote-unquote grave duty-related crimes. These involved exceptionally large sums of money. China's defense ministry has called the case extremely serious. They say the impact was, and I'm quoting again, profoundly detrimental. And this points towards a major shakeup in the PLA, the People's Liberation Army. That's what the Chinese military is called, the PLA. The shakeup began some 2 years ago in 2023. That's when Xi Jinping sacked top officials from the Rocket Force. It was quite an embarrassing case. The Rocket Force handles China's nuclear arsenal. An investigation found water instead of fuel in their rockets. This was a glaring example of graft. It compromised China's missile systems. It triggered a sweeping crackdown. More than a dozen senior military figures were purged. The list includes 2 former defense ministers, 2 commanders in the aerospace sector, key members of the Rocket Force, and now as many as 9 senior military officials, including General He. Apart from him, another prominent dismissal is that of Admiral Miao Hua. He headed the political work department of the CMC. Now, Admiral Miao was one of the top political voices in the PLA. Now he's gone, along with senior officers in the Rocket Force, China's paramilitary force, and officials from both the Army and the Navy. Like I said, 9 senior officials in total. It's a sweeping purge. It covers all key wings of China's defense setup: the missile force, the army, the navy, the political leadership in the PLA. This is the largest purge since Mao's rule ended in 1976. And it has raised a major question. Is Xi Jinping struggling to control his own military? He took power more than a decade ago. One of his first moves was to clean up the PLA. He removed anyone who posed a threat. He filled the ranks with loyalists, with generals who owed their rise directly to him. But all these years later, more than 12 years later, his cleanup has not ended. Even loyalists like General He are being sacked. Consider this figure. Since he took office, Xi Jinping has removed nearly 20% of China's generals appointed by him. Nearly 20% of his own appointees have been removed. Now, there are 2 ways to look at this. One, the constant purges highlight his grip on power. Even if you're loyal to the Chinese president, you're not necessarily safe if you're in the wrong. And he treats everyone equally. That's one way to see this. And 2, this reveals the gaps in China's military. The president wants a force that can fight and win wars, a military that can take Taiwan by force if necessary. But constant purges do not build strength. They create uncertainty. They create instability. If President Xi cannot trust the men he appointed and promoted, then who will be left to lead his army?
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all three just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.